back again to another episode on being woman. My sisters, I am very privileged to share with you so that you are made knowledgeable when you want to take care of yourself. Now, the topic we're going to discuss is menopause. Menopause is towards the end of a woman's reproductive, at the end of a woman's reproductive life. So she's not reproductive anymore and her hormones are waning. She gets into menopause. So we will see here estrogen levels in the life stages of women. Okay? You will see that estrogen waxes and wanes, and it goes the highest in pregnancy, then it goes up, and then slowly perimenopause, big, small, menopause going down, and then post-menopause. So before puberty, your levels are low, and then in pregnancy, the level is high. In perimenopause, it's like a roller coaster, menopause going down, and post-menopause, no more. So when you're into menopause, remember this slide we have here, where in the brain, estrogen helps maintain body temperature. You will have vasomotor problems, so heat flashes, facilitates memory, so you become forgetful. You help regulate parts of the brain that are involved in sexual and reproductive function. You have no more libido or urge. The heart estrogen helps regulate the liver's production of cholesterol, thus decreasing the buildup of plaque in the coronary arteries. And then in the breast, estrogen stimulates development of the breast and at puberty and prepare the glands for future milk production. The uterus prepared for estrogen matures the uterus. It also helps prepare the uterus for nourishing the developing fetus. It has bone effects. It has effects on the ovaries, and it has effects on the vagina or the birth canal. So all these organ systems are affected by estrogen, and even some others like skin is affected also. But these are the most affected portion by estrogen. So these are the things that happen to you when estrogen waxes and wanes. So if you have an increase in estrogen, the effects are breast tumors. As you said, in the breast, there's a lot of estrogen receptors, right? So when you have a lot of estrogen in your body, breast tumors sort of develop because estrogen, especially if you're not watching, you have a lot of xenoestrogens in your food or around your environment, you can develop breast tumors. You can also have uterine tumors, because the uterus also has estrogen receptors, and other reproductive tract problems like dysfunctional uterine bleeding, like anovulation, PCOS. These other reproductive tract problems are from the changes and especially in the increase of estrogen. However, when you have a decrease in estrogen, what happens is menopause. Okay, so unfortunately, it is already the time when your body does not produce anymore. You've run out of eggs, so you've run out. You cannot ovulate anymore. You've consumed all the stock you have in your ovaries, and so you do not ovulate anymore. And you do not ovulate. You have no more estrogen, and you go into menopause. Okay, so that's what our hormones do to us. So we are first discussing perimenopause. Perimenopause is the transition from reproductive to menopause. It's a phase where you can have years, like 4 to 8 years of perimenopause, and your hormones go up and down, up and down. This is really harder because the wax and waning of the hormones is deleterious to somebody, to the brain. I had women in menopause that would really have severe hot flashes, severe problems. And the thing is, I had one specific lady who she would wake her husband in the middle of the night and say, let's go to the hospital. I need to see the Adventist hospital where I was working. I need to talk to Dr. Fernandez because I'm having these things in my menopause. And her husband will bring her in the middle of the night. And as soon as she enters the gate of the Adventist hospital, she feels, I'm better. She was one of those who was really plagued so bad with perimenopause, even just the thought of entering into the compound of the Adventist hospital, she felt good already. So sometimes it's psychological too, because, estrogen in the brain. So perimenopause may begin as early as the middle of the 30s to as late as the middle 50s, when the menstrual cycles are no longer regular or predictable. So it's a long time, from 30 to 50 years old, waxing and waning of your hormones until they're gone. Pregnancy may still occur on breakthrough ovulation. Yes, you're not very regular in your menses anymore. And then you've heard about this pregnancy that are menopausal babies. Ooh, I had one. The older brother was already 27 years old, and the mother got pregnant. She was 54. Imagine 54 and pregnant. Okay. Yes, there are breakthrough ovulations, and if there's sexual contact, you can get pregnant in this perimenopause. So that in perimenopause, with these breakthrough ovulations, you don't take out your IUD if you have it, because you can get pregnant. You can get pregnant. But I'm not saying that I would condone IUD, but that's one thing you have to think about. Okay. The length of perimenopause varies greatly from woman to woman, with more or less 4 to 8 years range. So it's very, very long of having all this waxing and waning so long. But menopause is not a disease, okay? Oh, we have to take medicine to replace the estrogen that you don't have. Menopause is not a disease, okay? But rather it is a phase in the female reproductive life when there is a significant decrease in production of the female hormones. So when that happens, the woman does not ovulate anymore, therefore she cannot get pregnant anymore. When there have been 12 consecutive months of absent menses, you can definitely say you are now in menopause. So if you have like 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and then you have another menses, you're not menopause. But if you already have had 12 consecutive months of no menses, then you can say, yes, you are now menopause. So what are the signs of menopause? Okay, we can have here on headaches and hot flashes, teeth loosen and gums recede, see, even in the mouth, and then risk of cardiovascular disease, back aches because there's no more estrogen going inside the bones, you become osteoporotic, body and pubic hair becomes thinner and darker, bone loss mass, and you have osteoporosis, vaginal dryness, itching and shrinking, less urge or stress or urge incontinence, abdomen loses some muscle tone, that's why you have to exercise, skin and mucous membranes become drier, skin develops rougher texture, the nipples become smaller and flatten, breasts droop and flatten, and hair becomes thinner and loses luster. So unfortunately, if our husbands don't love us, it's very hard. That's how we can pray for us to be able to still be the women that are vibrant in the world, even if we have psychological or physical problems already. But when the Lord gives us strength, we can fight this. We can be the best we can. There's so many women who have been able to work the world, that have caused changes in our in life, that have been really good stalwarts in the work when they were already in menopause. So that's not necessarily mean that when you hit menopause, you cannot be used anymore. So I have here a fun slide that will show you the 7 menopausal dwarfs. This is only a fun thing, because we've been talking about all problems. Let's have a little fun here. You become itchy because your skin dries up. So you're itchy. You become bitchy, very irritable. You are like say your PMS. Then you become sweaty. You have this your vasomotor problems, your heat intolerance, sweating, etc. You become bloated. You become psycho, as in a depressive, sensitive, angry all the time, forgetful. Yes, it strikes a nerve here when you say forgetful, and then you become very sleepy. Well, that's just a joke. Let's go on further, and many more if you would really say. Menopause in third world countries. Really, you see this elderly lady? She's still strong and working. Because in third world, many times, even in the Bible, when they're menopause, they even become more useful. They stand in the gates with the men to give consultations or counsel to the people who have problems. So many in third world countries, many times they have no chance to say, oh, I'm having heat flashes, oh, I'm this, I'm that. No, it's a way of thinking in them. Survival is really important. So therefore, even if they're into menopause, their way of thinking is, okay, I'm graduated. I don't need to have pads. I don't need to buy pads anymore. Whisper cannot get money from me. Modest cannot get money from me anymore. Freedom, no more. I'm out of that. I've graduated from that. It's a way of thinking. Like I said, they become heads of the community. They become counselors. And then you don't have so many signs and symptoms and problems with all the hormones waxing and waning now due to preoccupation with other activities that have more weight in their lives. And of course, it is a lifestyle. Okay? So the lifestyle of the people out there, they're out in the and active. They're carrying, imagine this lady moving. If you're in here and you're osteoporotic, that's why we need to be exercising so our bones are strong still. So that even when we're older, our osteoporosis doesn't come fast and cause us to have broken, fractured bones. Okay, so we're going to see the difference. It's not that I'm doing this to show that we are weaklings, but so that we can learn from developing countries compared to developed countries as to activities, okay? In developing countries, there's much farming and hard work. So the bones are always made strong. Whereas in developed countries, we sit down and more sedentary and office work. So how will our bones grow better? In food, in developing countries, you have simple, low-fat, complex carbohydrates. Here, highly refined carbohydrates and fat. Exposure to sun, more in developing, less in the developed countries. Sleep habits, there's no current, so they sleep early. We have currents the whole day, 24. So we sleep late and do some other things through the night. And then air, abundant fresh air, polluted city air, and spirituality out there. They're often deeply spiritual. Whereas in developed countries, we are self-reliant and sometimes don't believe in God. So that's why we are suffering more and more every time. So really, lifestyle has something to do, mindset has something to do with the end of reproductive life, right? And we can learn from our women that live in developing countries that have a lifestyle and a mindset that's proactive rather than just sedentary, okay? Just saying. Now, lifestyle factors in controlling the symptoms and complications of menopause. I can never overemphasize that if throughout your lifestyle, throughout your life span as a woman, from premenarcheal to menopause, if you have a good lifestyle, obviously you will be healthier. Many of the symptoms of menopause and the medical complications that may develop in postmenopausal women can be lessened or even avoided by taking steps to lead a healthy lifestyle. Okay, so always to prepare for menopause, live a healthy lifestyle so that when you get into menopause, you can do it better. You don't have to run to the doctor for everything. They give you what they're going to give. Hormonal replacement therapy. But hormonal replacement therapy has a lot of side effects, okay? It can be even cancer of the breast and the uterus. It can cause thrombosis or strokes or heart attacks when you take this hormonal replacement. So, yeah, you will not die from having hot and cold flashes. Yeah, you will not die from being itchy in your skin. Yeah, you will not die, but you will die from a stroke. And you can die from cancer easier, faster. So what are you going to choose? So always think about how you can prevent the problems associated with menopause by doing and taking seriously lifestyle. So you have regular exercise can help protect against cardiovascular disease. Not only in the other problems in your body, but in your reproductive life. That's why these natural remedies, I believe hook, line, and sinker, they work. Because whatever your problem is, the natural remedies will always come in and be handy. So it's not that the spirit of prophet did not say, if you have cancer, this is what you do, lifestyle, da, da, da. And then if you have this, da, da, da. It's not. The doctors, the health doctors are these. So whatever problems you have, you eat properly, you exercise, you do water properly, you be out in the sunshine and be active. You have to be having self-control. You have to have trust in God, temperance, rest properly, sleep, have pure air. All those, and trust in God. All this, we can really deal with these things. Regular exercise can help protect against cardiovascular diseases, as osteoporosis. Exercise also has known mental benefits, so you don't need to be depressed. When you exercise, your brain becomes active. You take out the gunk from your brain. Because when you exercise, you sleep better in the evening. Gunk is taken out from your brain. So if you're out in the sunshine, you have more, especially when you exercise out in the sunshine, you get better sleep. And if you get better sleep, your brain is cleared. You get good mental health. Proper nutrition always. And smoking cessation if you're smoking. The smoking is like not good for a menopause woman. It will shrink your brain and everything. And a lot of diseases are associated with smoking. So proper nutrition and smoking cessation will also reduce cardiovascular disease associated with a menopause. You see, they found out that women are protected from heart problems or strokes, heart attacks and strokes when they have estrogen. And as soon as they start hitting menopause or perimenopause and there's no more estrogen, the protectiveness of estrogen is starting to disappear. Then she becomes even more prone to strokes, more prone to heart attacks. So when we women who are in the perimenopause, proactive, because once we menopause, we do not have estrogen anymore. We will have heart attacks even more. The risk of getting a heart attack is more even than when men without estrogen have, So we have to be more proactive. So you don't need, many times we go to the doctor, we turn to pharmacies, ask for paramedical people for our health and problems. And we are given some sort of recommendation. Why don't we trust what God says? Because what He says is always the truth. No matter what we do, eating properly, doing all these things, they are things that can help us have a better life. When we trust God, I just, sometimes I'm thinking, when I sit down and think about, why doesn't the Bible have more stories about women's health problems? There's bleeding, there's infertility. I don't know about fibroids. There's probably no fibroids, none. But I don't see them there. But we know that Jesus, He went through all trials. He did not have fibroids, okay? But what a woman feels when she has fibroids, somehow Jesus felt it in His life. He went through it, and He can succor us through our troubles. So, as I say, from volume 5, quoting from volume 5 of the Testimonies to the Church, there are many ways of practicing the healing art that's out there. You can go to the doctor, you can go to the chiropractor, you can go to the naturopathic doctor. There are many ways of practicing the healing art, but there is only one way that heaven approves. God's remedies are the simple agencies of nature that will not tax or debilitate the system through their powerful properties. Pure air and water, cleanliness, adding a proper diet, purity of life. So you got to be pure. Your mind should be clear. You should forgive. You should be less sensitive. You have live a pure life. And a firm trust in God are the remedies for the want of which thousands are dying. Yet these remedies are going out of date because their skillful use requires work that people do not appreciate. I have to cook. Don't have time to cook a plant-based diet. I just stick it in the I just buy those packs and stick it in the microwave. That's not the healthiest way, my dear, because the microwave, the thing that they put in the microwave, the plastic container, it's problematic. It will leach stuff into the food. And besides, the microwave destroys your food. So that, I don't want to cook. I don't want this. I don't want that. Oh, we need to change because we don't want to work hard. We don't what, but we have to work on our health because that's what we can only have to fight what's ever forward. With a sound mind, we can have a sound body, and if we have a sound body, we can have a sound mind. As we go further in this quote, fresh air, exercise, pure water, clean, sweet premises, some more. So our houses should not be cluttered. They should be clean. Because when you come inside your house and it's cluttered, your mind is all over the place. So we need to have clean, sweet premises that are within reach of all, but with little expense. But drugs are expensive, both in the outlay of means and in the effect produced upon the system. So now you know, even in menopause, there are ways by which we can fight. There are ordained doctors in nature that can help us fight the fight of faith. So my dear sisters, don't fret. This presentation is a little bit short, but it has covered a lot. And I hope that we have learned as we go. So we're going all to become menopause when we grow older. So I hope we learn something from this and we can put to practice so that we don't have to suffer much. Shall we bow our heads? Gracious, loving Lord, you are the author of our faith, the finisher of our faith. Thank you so much, Father, for being kind and giving us your love and care and for giving us instructions how to take care of our bodies. You are definitely the last and only source of all truth. We come to you, Father, to surrender our hearts and minds so that we can become healthy. We can present our bodies holy and acceptable, which is the only reasonable, is the most reasonable service we have for you. We can present ourselves and bring honor and glory to you as we honor you and glorify you through our bodies that are healthy. We don't want to present sickly bodies to you, Father. So help us as we strive to get to where you want us to be so that we can bring honor and glory to your name. When we're healthy, people will see us with a good disposition, a healthy, vibrant lifestyle. People say, what are you doing? How come you're healthy? How come you're not disturbed in your menopause? Oh, because I do the natural remedies. Lord, thank you for all these advices you have for us. Help us to trust you more. We can be a beacon in this dark world, even if we are menopause, even if we have trials. You are there to allay our trials. And when we are tired, you are our strength. You give us purpose in life, and we trust everything to you. For Jesus' sake, amen. Amen.